Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan.
In the studio with us, we talked to this gentleman last week, but he is in town for Fringe.
Yes,
performed last night.
Yes, sir.
Saw some BDMs at the show.
Yes, he did indeed. And now we have given him his first bag of the legendary chip known as Rapsnacks.
You've never had Rapsnacks?
I've never had Rapsnacks.
Chris Turner's here.
Oh, it didn't work. My thing.
Your air horn
Oh,
failed.
hold on. Yes.
That's a siren. That makes it sound like I'm a predator.
Yeah. I have my predator siren. It's broken. I got to get a new one. Welcome,
You've used it too often.
I have. There's so many predators in Florida. Good to see you, dude. How you been?
Oh, I'm good, thank you. It's lovely to be back. What a pleasure to return to this, to this hallowed ground.
Our guys like it when you come back to Orlando. You got a lot of fans here, man.
Oh, it's been a while. Like the last time I was Fringe was 2018. So
has it been?
I know.
Really?
Yeah.
In my mind, every year on Fringe we talk to you, but that must be.
That's very flattering.
We have done some Zoom.
Yeah, you black out all the time in between we talk.
But there was some, there was some time in between there. There was some COVID, right? There was some world-changing events. There was some of that. But a lot has been going on, and a lot of the things that I didn't know you were doing is like I knew you as the individual comedian. But I first knew you as the rapper who came and you were putting on your Fringe show. But then I didn't know you as the stand-up comedian. So then I got to see you as the stand-up comedian. But the number one thing that I didn't know after reading an updated bio, because you're the only comedian that updates his website and bio like all the time, so you're like organized and professional, but is that you're in a founding member of a troupe,
an improv group. Back in the UK, I started out doing improv before I was doing stand-up. So my improv group's called Racing Minds, and we do improv comedy just one month a year at the Edinburgh Festival, but we've been doing it for about 15 years, and it's me and 3 people who are substantially funnier than me, which is the secret to success, right? Like, funny people, go on stage with them. It's so fun. It's like it's a shame we can only do it once a year because they all live in the UK. But it's great fun, and the best fact about that group is that 50% of the group is visually impaired. So 2 of the performers are blind, and then after the show we like to ask the audience, guess who's blind? Because they can never tell.
Really?
Well, because it's just such a manic show anyway that everyone's always stumbling into things and falling over.
What would it take to get that show at our Fringe? Because I feel like they need
it's great.
that.
The Guess Who's Blind show?
Yeah, we need Guess Who's
we don't
Blind,
call
like,
it Guess Who's Blind. That would be slightly insensitive.
I can tell by the cloudy eyes. Chris laughs. It's comedy.
Yeah.
So now, I wonder if that makes the ability for them to be quicker.
Well, because when one of your senses disappears, your improv comedy sense improves to compensate.
Well,
I can taste the jokes.
That is true, though. You
I don't know
get
what's
heightened
true
other
anymore.
senses.
I don't say that
right?
phrase anymore. I don't say it is true, right?
But
I never say that
probably
anymore.
has nothing to do with the way how fast your brain works, right?
No, they're just funny. They're just so fun. And I'm like, people are always like, how are you not as funny as them? And you can see the opportunity for jokes. I'm like, shut up. Shut up. That's offensive.
But it's cool that you've been doing it that long, though.
Yeah, well, we met when we were like 18, 19. And the weird thing now is like since I've seen you last, I'm a dad now. I've got a 2.5-year-old. And obviously, any mention of dad in this room, we must remember the famous Dead Dad's rap. That was done in here, sprung upon me.
Yeah, the infamous Dead Dad's rap. Yeah.
I remember that.
Written on my father's gravestone now, because he was unmarked grave for a very, very long time.
How's fatherhood treating you?
I love it. I really love it. He says, being in Orlando, away from his daughter for 12 days. I love it when I'm getting sleep every night.
Yeah.
No, my little girl's amazing. She's great. The other day, my wife updated me that she had her first realization that capitalism is bad. Because they were at a street fair and they see a bounce house, and my wife goes, "Oh, Ada, would you like to go on the bounce?" She's called Ada because my wife's dyslexic, so Ada, 3 letters, 2 of them are the same. If you spell it back to front, it's still the same name, right?
Yeah, easy breezy.
And
I love it.
we see the bounce house, and she goes, "Ada, would you like to go on the bounce house?" She goes, "Yeah." And they get to the bounce house, and my wife's got like a $5 bill out, and she's like, "Hi, can we go on the bounce house?" And the guy goes, "It's $20." And my wife goes, "No, just her wants to go on." She goes, "Yeah, it's $20."
Well,
and my
that's
wife
some New York prices.
Out of principle, she's like, "No." And my daughter's like, "But we go on bounce house." She goes, "No, Ada, it's $20." And Ada's like, "Is that money?" That's too much money.
Yeah.
$20?
That's
Is
ridiculous.
this a girl thing? Because like my daughter now has, May has, like money anxiety now. Like whenever we're talking about going out to, even like just going to dinner, like let's say we're gonna cook and we went to the pantry and we looked and I'm like, oh man, I don't know about this chicken. We got to go out. She'd be like, I don't know. Like well, hold on a second. Let me smell it,
Yeah.
Or like
I think that's unique to the Dennis family because I
got it from her mom.
I have heard no other kids ever worry about or even have a concept
May's got
of
a
what
concept
money
of money.
is.
Yeah, she gets it.
Like, or how much $20 even can buy you, what they're buying. I'm like,
well,
my
I mean,
son's...
it could get you 8 packets of Rapsnacks, and you could have a sodium overdose.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, 8 packs of Rapsnacks is good.
So, Chris, I wanted to ask you because you work with Coca-Cola and other companies. And
Yes, in the past I have. Yeah,
and we've talked to you about even working for Greenpeace and doing work for the.
Oh dear, we spoke about that. Yeah.
Well,
yeah, that was hilarious.
So how does that even come about? Is that someone where, like, they contact your manager? They're looking for someone that can freestyle rap, and then they look through
We're
the
not
internet.
cool. We need to hip things up around
And
here.
they're like, the CEO's like, there's a guy I could talk to.
Usually the big brands work with agencies. They go to an advertising agency that they have a relationship with, and they go, "Hey, we want a campaign for this. Come up with ideas." And the ad agency, they're the cool guys, and they go, "We're going to do this thing where you walk around the streets of London and you rap for people," and they're like, "Whoa!" So that was how Coca-Cola worked, and so this agency come to me, they're like, "Hey, we want to film this. Would you come to the streets of London and rap?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, I'll do that. Give me loads of that Coca-Cola money."
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's what I'm asking about.
Soda money.
How do you price something like that? Do you look on Google, like, what's the going rate?
It's a hard one, isn't it? Because if they go through your agent can talk about money. Can be like blah, 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 blah. Whereas if it's directly with you, you're like, "Please, can I have some money?"
Right, you're
right.
You're right.
It's really expensive to go on a bounce house. I need the money.
The disconnect is a nice thing when you have somebody else asking for you.
So because you've done this a lot, Chris, I'm sure, and this has happened to us before, where like a company will ask, like, "Hey, I want to hire you guys for this. What do you charge?" Right? And we don't know what the rate is for something, because then we start researching and something. But then we think
I usually make it up.
And then we'll talk to other people that have done this before, and they're like, "Oh, they'll pay whatever they'll pay a lot," because we'll often undercut ourselves because we're like $1,000. They'll be like, "Deal." They would have paid $10,000
when they immediately say yes. What I like is I tell them my price, and then they don't get back to me for a couple of days. And I go, "Oh, you had to run this up the chain. You were like, wait, this white boy cost how much?" I thought we were getting a white rapper, right? That should be cheap. That's the cheap rapper.
You don't understand. You got to see what he does. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a difficult one. So like often for the big ones, I will put it to my agent because the fact that they'll then take a cut is offset with the fact that they'll get more money. Direct. Often you just ask them. Like, I mean, the work with Greenpeace, you go, "Look, you're Greenpeace. You spend most of your money on commandeering whaling boats. And, we are the captains now." Greenpeace is pretty violent.
I wonder if you could have asked for a boat. Like, give me one of your extra boats.
Can I have one of those whaling vehicles you took?
You don't have to even fix it
Does
up
it
or
still
anything.
have a functioning harpoon?
Yeah.
I'm not going to harpoon any whales.
No, I just got to tool around it and then squirt people with a gun, like the big water cannon,
I like when they threw the stink bombs at me.
Yeah, I do like that. I love that.
I'm like, these are hardcore. I mean, they shoot harpoons into whales. You think some stink bombs is going to slow them down?
I remember watching that show, Whale Wars, when remember where they had the speedboat and then they had the overly aggressive, like, masculine dudes that would drive the super speedboat? I don't know if you remember any of this, but it failed instantly. Like, it went through a wave and they're like, "I'm sorry, it's sinking." And then I found myself rooting for the Japanese guys that had the water cans that were spraying Greenpeace. I'm like, "Go get them, get Greenpeace." I don't know why I was doing that, but I like their water cannons.
So wait, this is like, because I know Japan has this history of like very strange game shows. Wait, did they make a whale hunting game show?
No, it was like
Whale Wars.
It was like a show that you're supposed to follow these guys that are like stopping this illegal whaling, but you ended up seeing how bumbling the whale. Like people were, you ended up like almost rooting for the whalers because everyone
they like fire the harpoon and they hit their friend's boat.
Yeah,
oh no,
they crashed a lot. The little speedboat vessel,
the Greenpeace people, they were trying to throw the stink bombs, and the Japanese whalers were pretty organized.
Yeah, they had a big ass water cannon. They were like, boom!
Like this is a major business, and we make a lot of money. We'll water cannon you.
We've been killing whales for hundreds of years.
Yeah, I love it. It's like watching Ice Road Truckers, but rooting for the road. Come on, Ice Road!
Break underneath them.
The chat room remembers all of it. I might have to go back and find that show because it was terrible.
So after, like, they want a man on the street type of deal.
Yeah.
I'm sure, like, but then I always wonder with the man on the street stuff because like magicians realized this a long time ago, like David Blaine and stuff, where they're like, well, we'll just fake the man on the street because it's easier to hire some actors to pretend to be amazed than it is to actually get the genuine reaction. It would take a day of filming. We'll just hire something nobody will know, so.
Yeah, it depends where you film. Like, if you're a lot of the man on the street stuff now that's like all on, shorts on Instagram, a lot of that is pre-planned. Like, you film that with a performer. You film that with someone who's trying to promote themselves. So I did one recently for this guy who's like big on Instagram. He's like, hey, I think you're really good. Can I do a thing where I come up to you? I'm like, hey, what do you do? And then you'll be like, I'm a rapper. And then you rap for me. And people will be like, wow, he found this guy. You're like,
wait a minute. Is that the guy that goes up to people and he goes, hey, what do you do? And every time I'm like, that's Lisa Ann, the adult star. Or because I'm such a pervert that I know all the porn stars and I know he's doing it to find the perverts.
It's not that guy because that would be strange. He'd use me.
No, he does it not with just porn stars. He does it with like he'll slide a famous person in there. Yeah. He'll slide in like somebody that you kind of know. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, nothing against him, but it is the laziest entertainment you could provide.
But people love it, dude.
I know.
People
love
it.
Yeah, I mean, it's good work if you can get it right. I mean, one of the problems in London, filming in London, was that everyone on the street is a tourist. So I'd be like, hey, what do you want to rap about? And they'd be like, I'm sorry, what? And you're like, what do you want me to rap about? And they'd be like, how about Brexit? And I'm like, rapping about Brexit for Frenchmen. And at the end, they go, okay.
You were confused. I'm having goosebumps on my arms. It's like Arsene Wenger's here from Arsenal. Like, I miss our old coach.
I love that is your French reference. You remember, not Thierry Henry.
No,
not Robert Pires.
Because always at the press conferences afterwards, they'd go, what do you think? He'd be like, and I'd be like, ah! Sorry. I get mad.
So yeah,
Thierry Henry, what a player.
And then so when you do, and we've talked about like on Zoom last week, we were talking about how Greenpeace didn't even use the footage that you did for them.
That's pretty awesome.
So
when still get paid.
So when you do the Coca-Cola stuff, do they even tell you where they're going to use it?
So that was a really weird one. That was specifically for an app. This is like from back in the day. It was an app called Whoa, which stood for Where Only Awesome Happens. And if you're like, wow, that's cringe, it was purely for Eastern and Southern Europe. And I was like, Southern Europe, like Spain? They go, no, like Albania and Macedonia. And I'm like, sorry, so what? This is a Coca-Cola app for, and they're like, yeah, you're in Hungary, they'll see these. And so
well, that's where Only Awesome happened.
It was these man on the street things in English put out to this Hungarian app, and no one saw them. Definitely no one downloaded this app. It had no ratings on the App Store. It had all the content on it was good because it was. I was in it, but my God,
pumping money into it, right?
Money,
yeah. I mean, it just shows we have to get all these Hungarians hooked because Hungary is a Pepsi country. Like, I've been to Hungary enough to know that Pepsi is cheaper than Coke, so of course we drink Pepsi. Why we drink Coca-Cola? Coca-Cola is bourgeois.
Wow, that's a Carolina. That's like turning your back on Georgia, man. Right?
It's weird. I would have just
Pepsi's
assumed
a Carolina thing.
assume that like the big brands are in every single country and have equal advertising, but I guess it makes sense that like Pepsi got in there early. And
I think it's like Risk, right? When you're playing Risk, sometimes you just abandon one of your countries.
Yeah, you
You're
forget about it. It's super small.
Pepsi's got that one.
That's hilarious.
Chris, I was looking at your website, and I want to talk about the Rap Battles book.
The game. It's a game.
Yeah. So
apparently we had a listener pick it up, right?
Yeah. Some people buying the merch.
Hell yeah.
So when did you come up with this idea, and tell us about it?
So about a year ago, this guy gets in touch. He's like, "Hey, I think you're great. I work with DK Games, which is a branch of Penguin, the publishing company, and we make games, right? And like Cards Against Humanity is such a huge hit. We want to make a rap version of that, but we are not rappers." We looked around to find freestyle rappers, figuring that would be the best kind of thing because you're making up rap, so you need someone who can do it. They were like, "Look, we looked at everyone. You are the perfect person for this because you're comedy, you're freestyle rap, and you're smart, and we think you probably like games." And I was like, "All right, stereotyping me a bit."
Yeah, I mean, also I feel like size of vocabulary kind of matters.
Yeah,
and I would put you in that category.
Yeah.
You know, like because I know you're smart. And I know
you went to school
big dictionary energy.
Yeah.
Didn't you go to school for like grammar?
I mean, I went to.
You went to grammar school
in the UK. I went to grammar school.
I thought that was word school.
Hey!
This is Florida.
Yeah, I went to Oxford University, so it's good to use my brain.
There you go.
But they get in touch like, "So we want you to make a game." They go, "All we have is the title. We want it to be called Rap Battles," and they're like, "You design the you design the game." So I set about figuring out how you'd make a rap battle card game, and it's super simple. It has, it's like Cards Against Humanity. You get two types of cards. One is the setup to your line, and then the card that gets flipped over in this table is the word you're going to have to rhyme. And it's super easy. So each person has 5 cards. Each card has a setup line on, so it might be like, "You shouldn't play with me," or another one will be like, "Your lyrics are weak." And then in the middle of the table, flip over a card. There's 3 words on it for difficulty levels. So, right, first word might be bass. Second word might be arbor. Third word might be crystalline. And then you just have to create a rap diss against the person rhyming one of those words. And that's how the game goes. Keep going. It's a great drinking game.
Tom stuck in crystalline. I
don't know what that means.
But you could do bass. You could do bass, right?
It's ass.
Yeah, no. So like, you take your lead in.
Yeah.
You take your lead in line. So you be like, your rhymes are weak, right? So you go like, your rhymes are weak. They really suck ass. I'm gonna reel in this battle like I'm catching a bass. Boom, and then they go and then you win that round, right?
All right.
Easy game, and it comes with like a nice booklet with loads of nice art in. It explains how to play. It has tips for freestyling. It has the best beats to freestyle over. It is, to advertise, it is available from all good stores. You can buy it in Barnes & Noble. You can buy it on Amazon. It's on sale on Amazon right now. I think it's like $17.50.
Oh, really?
Or you can buy it from me directly at my show for the limited edition, which is $30, which comes with a holographic sticker, and I sign it. And on some of them, I've kind of rubbed the cards against parts of my body to give them that special power.
Yeah, I like that.
My favorite bit about the game actually is there's these 5 cards. Have you ever played Exploding Kittens?
Yeah, absolutely.
You get the Exploding Kitten. Oh, I got to deal with that, right?
Yeah.
I kind of put in like these Exploding Kittens cards, which are called diss cards, which are just unrhymable words.
Oh,
so at any point when your opponent's about to rhyme, right before they're about to do it, you can just like flip down this diss card, and then they have to rhyme that word. And then suddenly they're not trying to rhyme bass. They're trying to rhyme anti-disestablishmentarianism or supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Gotcha.
But the risk is if they do rhyme it, they then take all your cards.
So what's the trick to that, Chris? Because I'm sure, like, do you look at other lyricists and other rappers and like see what they're doing? And, like, there are different techniques that you observe from other rappers, like Eminem through like social media. There's other rappers like breaking down like Eminem's raps and like see what he's doing here, and they're explaining it, stuff that I would never even notice.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? Like they're like he's rapping every other verse, a word to this verse.
It's really no different than hitting. Well, it's like a more sophisticated version of playing drums with your mouth, I guess, but like sliding the word in there or rhyming it on a different area.
And changing the word, the ending of a word to make it fit, to kind of force the fit, which to me is kind of cheating.
I allow that. I mean, that's like...
yeah, but that's part of your style, I feel like.
One of the tricks I learned really early on is, a word can rhyme with anything because every word contains sounds that aren't in the word naturally. And by that I mean, this is an example by Snoop Dogg, right? California does not rhyme with as many words as California, because A is a rhyming sound that's really common. So if you want to say California in a song, then say California. And then if you want to rhyme California, you've got the I in there. You've got the on. So you could be like California, the place I was born. There's so many ways to rhyme
words. Tom was inspired by that. I heard it. He's like, oh.
But I don't approach it from like that scientific kind of let's break it down in the same way that as like a musician, I'm self-taught. So the show I'm doing here is a musical comedy show.
Yeah.
I don't know chord theory. I just know what sounds good. So when I'm writing music, I work with someone who understands music, and I go, hey, this part of the song's going to go like this, then this, and I want it to do this. And he goes, okay, so that's this key, and it's this progression. I'm like, great. I just know that sounds good.
Right. So by ear.
That's the same thing with Rappin. I'm not going, how does Eminem do this? I'm going, well, I've just listened to Eminem since I was 11. I mean, by listen, I mean I have not listened to Eminem for a long time.
Yeah.
When I was 11, I listened to Eminem a lot. So I've kind of absorbed how he does it, and I've absorbed how other people do it, and I do it my way. And now, like, my listening to rap is so limited because it's pretty difficult to freestyle over the beats that contemporary hip-hop uses because they're either too slow or too fast.
Sure.
And I can freestyle up to about 130 BPM, maybe a bit more. That's far too fast for the average listener to track along to. But most modern rap is like 154 BPM, which is fine if it's written, and also so much modern rap, the lyrics kind of don't matter anyway.
Yeah,
you rap at half speed, but then
they really don't.
Half speed freestyling at that, if I'm making up a rap at this pace, you're like, well, that's not impressive. Anyone can rhyme when they've got a second per line to think.
Did you start like that, though? Or I mean, I'm sure people can start like that.
I started rapping over Outcast beats from the Stankonia album. So, rapping over Bombs Over Baghdad.
That's a hard one, though.
And it's good to start rapping faster and then bring it back.
Yeah, it's got I just saw some guy online break down that beat about how they made those snares that go.
Yeah, my preferred, but the opening night of this show, I used a beat, and at the end of it, it got this big exhale from the crowd, and I was like, oh, you guys have just been listening the whole time rather than the beat was too fast for them to applaud or laugh. They were just sat there like, listen.
They're just taking it.
I got you.
I'm slowing down that beat because I need pockets where you can go, oh, that was good, yeah.
So the new show, you said, are you doing more than just rapping there? Are you singing? Are you
I sing, I dance. It's a full musical comedy show.
Dig it, man. So
all the genres, and it covers so many genres. We have like a musical theater opening. We have an 80s banger. We have a country ballad. We have a doo-wop thing. We have a Kesha style song.
Oh, I love it. This sounds like a bit of a challenge, but is this something? Is that what you wanted to do? You're like, I've done the rapping things. I'm going to do everything.
Yeah.
Now.
So there's rapping in it as well.
Sure.
But I like to kind of show off on stage, and so this show was me going, hey, and look, it's not just rap that I'm good at. I can do all these genres as well, and also it serves the purpose of the show. The show is me exploring how, as a kid, I wanted to be a performer. I didn't want to be a rapper or a rock star or a comedian. I wanted to perform. I wanted to be all of those things. Those are all things I said I wanted to be as a kid. So I'm like, well, why am I just letting myself be a rapper or a stand-up? I should also be a rock star. I should also be a country singer. I love, in the pandemic, I was in Colorado for 2 years. I unironically wore a cowboy hat.
You wore a cowboy hat.
I will say I was up in the mountains. I was 8,000 feet on the
I was shopping for cowboy hats this morning for no reason other than I just felt like I needed a cowboy hat.
Where are the mountains?
Gunnison, which is 8,000 feet up west of Denver, about 4 hours west. And that's where my daughter was born. I kind of lie a bit in my show and say she's Brooklyn born and raised. She's Brooklyn raised, but she's Colorado born.
Where in reference
so
to like
either state, she loves smoking weed. Wow.
Where in reference is that near Glenwood Springs and like Aspen and all that?
So it's super close to Aspen if you had a helicopter, which a lot of people in Aspen do. If you fly 20 minutes south of Aspen over a mountain, you're where Gunnison is. But
okay, that's in the middle of nowhere.
It's a 5-hour drive round to Aspen. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
How'd you end up there?
So like you take
my wife's family lived there. They moved out there to this ranch.
I
just
bet that's
to be in
so
the wilderness.
nice.
Oh, it's sick. It's so cool.
You like being that. You like that sort of secluded.
Well, for the pandemic, like we just kind of went there and it was isolated, and they made a big deal that when the Spanish flu came in 1913 or whatever it was afterwards a bit, they were like, Gunnison County was one of 3 counties where there were no casualties from the Spanish flu. So when COVID hit, they were like, we're going to quarantine ourselves down like we did back then. We're going to have no casualties. Too late. Everyone died.
We're Gunnison.
It's already here. It was here 6 months ago.
Yeah.
I mean, Colorado's a great state, and then being in the mountains is awesome. Like I go out there every year, and I just love it out there.
Yeah,
quite the change from Brooklyn, I would imagine.
It is,
right?
yeah. It really.
But you like New York a lot, right?
I love New York, man.
Yeah,
New
better
York's
than
the
LA,
best.
right?
Yeah, way better.
Because you did that.
I was in LA 4 years.
Yeah.
Brooklyn is where it's at. Like New York specifically.
Is it the people? Is it there's something going? Angel, our friend that we know, that's where his family's from and everything. He's always talking about the energy. There's always something going on.
There's people. You can walk, and when you walk, you see people on their stoops, right? Which is the pretentious way they say steps. I'm just sitting on my stoop. You're sitting on the steps outside your house. Stop being so performative. No, this is my stoop. Hey, I'm sitting here.
I'm stooping over here.
I'm stooping here. What, you stoop? God, I should say that to someone next time. You just see people, and there's the corner stores, and there's parks, there's green spaces. Like in LA, it was just brown, parched grasslands.
Yeah.
And you don't need to drive. The subway. Without the subway, I wouldn't have the 30 minutes of material that I've developed since moving to New York. Because, God, on the subway they have these posters that say, "Be courteous, don't be someone's subway story." And I'm like, the people who are someone's subway story cannot read. They are.
And I'm not sure if it's that all involves any sort of courtesy. You know what I'm saying? Like a pretty random act of an insane person.
This is a bit from a show, but it's a true story. So I was on a subway, and this guy comes on. He's got this massive Bluetooth speaker, and he starts playing music. It's like, right, this is what everyone's listening to now. Okay. And I was like, tell you what, my noise cancelling headphones aren't blocking this out. I'm just going to turn that off, save the battery. I'm going to listen. And it was really good rap. I didn't know what it was, but it was proper good. And I'm just listening. I start kind of nodding along, and then he looks at me, and I'm like, oh shit. He knows I'm listening to his music.
He knows I like it.
And the lyric, I didn't check. I'm allowed to be rude on this, am I?
Yeah, okay. Fine. We'll bleep it out.
I hear the lyric. This lyric stuck with me for days. It was, "She sucking my balls, she nasty." And that was it. I heard that. I thought, that is brilliant.
Oh my God.
And so I'm like,
the password for my email.
I'm like Shazamming it, trying to figure out what the song was. But we're underground, so it won't do it. And I'm like, So I didn't know what the song was, because you can't just ask, "Excuse me, hello, sir. Pardon, who is this composer?
Yeah,
who
catch that glass ball
I must play this at my next soiree." And so I then find out it's a Pop Smoke song.
The chat room nailed it immediately. Yeah. We have a lot of hip hop heads in there, and they were like, "Bam!" So
I live right by the cemetery where Pop Smoke is buried, which makes it sound like I live in the hood. No, he was buried in a really nice cemetery.
Okay.
I'm not in Canarsie. I am in Park Slope, and even though Pop Smoke should be from Park Slope, because then it would rime.
Yeah, it would make so much more sense.
Oh, ask me after this story. Ask me to tell you about my friend Lee, who does a bit of freestyle rapping. Okay. But so I'm listening, "She's sucking my balls, she nasty." So I look at her Pop Smoke, and I'm like, wow, that's so cool. What would my version of that song be? And I figured it would be, "She's sucking my balls, I'm grateful." I'm a lucky pup. Oh my, much obliged, madam. So that's the bit. The truth is, I heard that song and it was like, she's sucking my balls, she's nasty, and I was like, oh, this is fucking cool. That was how I first heard Pop Smoke, and that's because he's New York, he's Brooklyn. So I was like, I got introduced to Pop Smoke by being on a subway where a guy, maybe it was Pop Smoke playing his own song.
Exactly.
I don't know. I did not make eye contact with that man when he realized I was nodding along to his song.
So, what's up with your buddy Lee?
So I do a kids comedy show in the UK with this guy called Lee Kyle, who is a Geordie, which means he's from Newcastle, and I can't do the accent.
All right.
But like, I was talking about stuff. He goes like, it's difficult with your name, Chris, because like often a lot of rappers will say their name when they're freestyling as kind of filler. He's like, you don't do that. I go, no, I don't, because one, I try and eliminate all filler. Two, Chris Turner. Like in my head, if I was ever going to rhyme it, I'd be like, yeah, he's a quick learner, Chris Turner. But also in my head, I'm always worried that I'd rhyme it with like, he's like gonorrhea, he's a real piss burner.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm like, I never say it. And he goes, oh, spare a thought for me, mate. I freestyle, and my name is Lee Kyle. I was like, well, no, that's good, because your name's Lee Kyle, so you can freestyle. When I'm freestyle, I'm Lee Kyle. He goes, no, whenever I'm freestyling as Lee Kyle, my brain always wants me to say Zieg Heil. I was like, yeah, you definitely can't write that. You definitely cannot say that.
And also, why does your brain...
Yeah.
I can't do it.
Yeah, don't tell anybody. Your brain goes...
Never tell people that.
And it's weird that your accent is from Newcastle, but when you freestyle, you do it in a German accent. Lee. Why do you do that?
Well, Chris, how many more Fringe shows you got left this week?
I got 4 left. Okay. I've got shows Wednesday and Thursday. They're both around about 9:30.
Nice.
Double check, because you can't be late to Fringe shows.
No, you cannot.
And then Saturday and Sunday. I think Saturday we're at 8 p.m. Sunday we're at 4 p.m. And those shows will be super fun because they're the final ones of the run, and they'll be, Saturday and Sunday energy. So I recommend getting tickets to those.
The last shows open up sometimes and get crazy.
Yeah, I recommend getting tickets to those sooner rather than later, just because my Orlando Sentinel review came out today, and I was highly recommended, which apparently is pretty hard to get, and it was a really, really nice review.
Wow.
In the Orlando Sentinel.
Yeah.
That's a big deal. I don't know where to find that. I'm pretty sure you find it online. Orlando Sentinel. Or you could just Google Chris Turner and then see how awesome he is.
We're telling you. We're as good as the
There's
Sentinel.
an infinite amount of videos on your own social media. Just you killing it every
I did
single
just
video.
I posted. People should head to my Instagram, which is Chris Turner Comedy, and my YouTube, which just search Chris Turner. I just posted a video like just before coming in, which is a 30-second snippet of, because I do a lot of freestyles that I don't put online.
Yeah.
Just because I do like 12 shows a week, and I put one freestyle rap out a week. So I have a huge backlog, but also the backlog gets longer and longer because there's stuff from 4 years ago that I'm like, well, it's not relevant, or I'm not going to post that anymore, or I've forgotten what the beat was, so I can't post it without getting sued by someone going, you didn't pay me for that beat.
Yeah.
So I sometimes just pull out snippets of bits of raps. The rap was good, but I'm like, this bit needs to go out. And I just posted one today where the topic is inverted nipples.
Okay.
And someone's just like, inverted nipples. And that's 30 seconds of me rapping about inverted nipples. And it's pretty... It's pretty sordid where my mind goes. I'm like, I watch it because I black out when I rap, right?
Yeah. You've told us that.
Yeah, it's very much like drinking. I just watch it back. I'm like, God, why am I talking about poking people's inverted nipples and rubbing my finger on the inside?
Well, that's what I was thinking. I mean, I feel like that's the only thing you do with inverted nipples.
I also feel like I haven't opened up my Rapsnacks.
You can save them or take them with you, or eat
no.
whatever you want.
I feel like I should give. This is the Lil Baby.
Yeah.
Lil Baby all-in hot flavor with salt and vinegar, barbecue, onion, garlic, cayenne pepper, and more.
Yeah.
The more is the sugar and salt.
It's basically like, the Canadians, they like those all-dressed chips.
Yeah, I love those.
I think that's what this is.
It smells good.
All right, first time eating Rapsnacks.
Yeah, Rapsnacks live. Rapsnacks live. This might get our endorsement.
They're great.
Yeah, they're really
they are so
seasoned.
salty.
They're very seasoned.
It is just, I mean, look, the stereotype is white people don't season their food. I'm going to say too much seasoning.
Yeah.
Not to start a new
blew this white guy's sleeves off.
not to start a new rap beef with Lil Baby, because judging by your jewelry, you're very successful and potentially violent. Like, if you're called Lil Baby, you're not an unviolent person. Like, I know Da Baby. I know he killed a man, right?
Yeah.
You can be called Da Baby. If you were called, like, if I was Chris the Killer, you're like, he's never hurt anyone.
Yeah, he's soft.
So Lil Baby, potentially more seasoning than is required. I think you could cut down on the number of ingredients, which would increase your profit margin, which I think is very much going back to the bounce house.
Exactly.
But fantastic flavor.
Yeah. You can only eat about 3 of them before you need a big old jug of water.
I love it. This is great.
Man, thanks so much for coming in. We love having you. We love, our friendship and the fact that you pop into Orlando. Don't be a stranger, and good luck on the shows.
Yeah, grab those Fringe tickets.
We got guys grabbing tickets right now. So, guys.
Yeah, we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back with more Corporate Time.
Awesome. All right. Thank you, buddy. That was awesome, man.
Did you not want to do a freestyle?
Oh, we can.
Okay, yeah.
I hate leaning on it, though.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about it because you've done it so many times.
No, we should do it then.
Okay,
Let's do
cool.
it.
Suggestions.
I actually wrote one down that we.
Do you want me to save this first? Are we coming back, or do you want me?
We'll just come back. Yeah.
Okay. Hold on. Let me save this now. Oh,
Well,
just
yeah,
come
we
back.
did.
Oh, okay,
We'll
sorry.
just
I get
add
what you're
it to
saying.
it.
I get what you're saying. 3, 2.
We almost left without Chris doing a freestyle.
Well, I hate leaning on it. Like
I was like, guys, do you not want me to rap?
No. I feel self-conscious about it. I really do. It's like when we get guys, I don't like them burning bits. I don't like them talking about stuff they always talk about.
Mate, I did my legendary Pop Smoke on the Subway bit. So.
Well, it's like when someone comes in and they have a particular talent, and then it feels odd just across your arms. You're like, do your thing.
You're known for your Trump voice. Do your Trump voice.
We know you get paid for this. We're promoting a show for people to go see you.
We just talked about capitalism. We were learning. It was a learning moment.
But do it for us, so we take the value and put it on our show, and we make the money. That's how it kind of feels.
Make us rich with your raps.
I don't mind that at all.
Yeah.
You've given me this, and I'm going to take home an extra bag of this because
please.
Here's how I'll tie it in, because you can get personalized raps from Chris.
You can indeed.
On his website. You're on Cameo.
Mm-hmm,
and you can pay to get a personalized rap.
You can indeed.
So we can promote that with you doing a personalized rap about our friend EJ.
Oh yeah.
And I'll give you some some traits about EJ, and you could rap about him. He's big and fat. He's the fattest guy we know.
He's disgusting.
Yeah, he is a former college football player.
Yeah, and former comedian.
Yeah. Well, he's actually technically a comedian now, but he's horrible at it.
Yeah, well,
he's a horrible stand-up.
He's comedian in like that he did it, and then like he doesn't do it anymore, but he still calls himself a comedian. He's one of those guys.
Well, that's if you are a convicted pervert, you are still that for the rest of your life.
So, Kenny, we have another guy, Kenny, that is a convicted pervert.
Well, also EJ is kind of a pervert because he does like to get choked out by his wife.
And his wife is little, and he's gross and big, and she has to like literally put her knee in his neck.
Yeah. And he does wear the same University of Miami polo out to all these events to tell everybody he used to be a UM football player.
And he poops his pants.
Okay, Well, that's not confirmed, but we're just guessing.
We've heard that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you need a beat?
I would love a beat. I'm not going to a cappella rap about EJ.
I'm going to have you give me one, or give me a name of something you like.
Oh, I mean, no, what's
instrumental?
Well, I feel like we should go, if he's a big fat boy, we should go with some Biggie, shouldn't we?
Okay.
Why don't we go with Hypnotize?
Okay.
Right? That's about 100 BPM, so it's pretty fun to go with. And you get that Biggie fat noise, that
Junior Mafia.
Oh, yeah. Okay. We got the trio in the booth, that's a 3-way. Let me spit bars today about the EJ. I got several things, little info, little facts. He ain't a little chap, yeah, you know my boy's fat. He's a big lad, walking with his belly, a little Rapsnacks, yeah, so many, he can eat that, yeah, you know I admire, eating spice from the pack, so you know I spit fire in the mouth, he's allowed. What is he like? He's got a very polite, nicely inclined wife, even though she's skinny, she shimmy up next, she be like, EJ, I'm gonna sit on your neck, I use my knee in it like I'm Ronda Rousey, he's chewing their sex with the food in his mouthy, he be loving it, lust for his mammy, where did he go? The University of Miami, he wears the polo, rolling for sure, you can see the rolls of fat under there, pretty pure, gotta reach inside and clear the grease, when he's outside it defies belief, he's got shit in his pants, he be taking the chance, you can tell that about EJ with a glance, you're like, oh no, from your backside spurt, you're a comedian, not like the pervert who was your friend, remind me of his name, he was convicted, you can say it again. Kenny, yeah, he's a killer, if he's inside, yeah, you better shiver, cause he's coming close to you, maybe got those eyes, anyway, back to EJ, he supplies, he did comedy once, yeah, holy smokes, it was terrible, he had like 0 jokes, he just sat there, the crowd was in trouble, they just heckled, yo, do the truffle shuffle, get your belly out, move it side to side, the beast, you know the laughs, yeah, I'm feeling snide, I hope EJ's not your next guest, coming into me like, yo, give him a rest, I mean R.I.P. cause the boy spits rap, there we go, EJ, yeah, he gets no clap back.
Hey, hold on, will it work now?
It's...
Oh, Kenny's nearby.
It won't work.
It's amazing when because I'm trying to figure out how your brain is doing.
You can't do it.
It's like a magic trick.
It defies that.
Like I'm hearing. I'm like, how's his brain? Is his brain?
It's just effortless. It's like very.
Is it ahead of itself and then it's working backwards?
That's what I think it feels like. It feels like you're already kind of doing the calculations over here, and by the time it gets over here, you've already it's coming out of your mouth.
It's weird because like live raps in a show are different to ones done in a studio environment because the adrenaline that you get from a live audience fuels the rap, which means that it gets that blackout energy, whereas here, obviously, there's less adrenaline because there's not a live audience, like in the room. Obviously, people are watching, but that live audience changes the approach and also changes the risk because I know that people are watching or listening, but they're not here. So in my head, I'm like, well, if this goes badly, just you two know about it. Whereas if it goes badly in, a 1,000-seat theater, and it goes badly.
Yes. So a couple of things here that people like are the fact that you ended the rap and went right back to the Rapsnacks. They love that. They also think that because you're British and you're eating the Rapsnacks and you rap so perfectly that it's a little disrespectful. I like that. Yeah, I don't know what that is, but they feel like it feels disrespectful because he's British. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense, but I like it. I mean, I like it. Yeah, it's like disruptive.
It's like, remember when Dave Chappelle did that joke about like him writing the punch, like to make it hard on himself, he has the punchline to the joke and he writes it backwards. Engineers it. So, I really believe that probably his brain does work like that. Like he has the punchline and he figures out how to get there.
You have formulas on how on ways that you like to write stuff.
Because sometimes I've felt that in my head before, like this is a funny punchline. How do you get there?
Right,
and then you just fill everything else. So is your brain... Because I'm sure you've analyzed it, kind of doing that where like, okay, I want to get to this word.
It's a mix-up. It changes. Okay. I think it's not conscious thought most of the time. So, yeah. I don't really know how it works. But yeah, I'm sure that's how it's meant to work. You're meant to be like, oh, I know I'm going to rhyme this, I'm going to do this. But I think that's more conscious. Like when you're playing Rap Battles, the game, available in all good stores.
Yeah.
You're seeing the word you have to rhyme. So you then have that time to think. But then in a rap, you're going faster, so there's less time, so it just kind of naturally falls.
Do you have words that you know that you lean on too much and you go like, I'm going to have to ease up on that one?
I'm sure I do, and I notice myself sometimes doing it, and when I do, I go, okay, let's scrap that word from the rap for the next couple of weeks. If I that's my challenge for me. So say if I know that like Asian words, as in Asian, not Asian words. I'm not coming back to the whaling boat bit. If I'm saying Asian, I know that I will more likely rhyme something like situation, frustration, infatuation. Whereas really, you could also just rhyme shorter words. You could say Haitian. You could say Asian. Like, blazing. You could say all those words.
Patient.
So I'm more likely to... So I scrap it. I'm like, okay, if I'm doing those words, I'm shunning. I'll shun the words infatuation. so I can then come up with something else, and then that kind of widens my scope.
That is interesting that you'll go in there and prune, I guess is the word you'll be like, I don't like, I'm using too many of these longer Asian words, so like, let's clip those.
Yeah.
Let's go to shorter ones for just a couple of weeks and see if I can shake out this problem I'm having. That's interesting.
It'd be insanely interesting to me to hook your brain up to some like neuroscientist and see where the activity is.
Surprised somebody hasn't offered to do that for you.
A couple of people have asked about it, and I've been like, yeah, sure. And then they go, okay, come to my house. I'm like, no! I'm doing it in a research lab. In your house? Put this on your head. Those are just some sweaty underpants.
Exactly.
You have this machine in your house?
You're going to be tied up. Yeah, it's going to be bad.
Chris, thanks so much for coming by. All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back with more corporate time. Sorry, I realized we were almost out of time.
We are good.
Thank you, dude.
Thank you.
Man, that was so fun.
Oh, thank you so much.
And I'm glad you like the Rapsnacks.
They're so good.
They are. They're not good for you, but they're definitely good.
He's a little shy when he's has his gear on.
TC, where's this go?
That's Tuesday 1 and 2.
Gotcha.
So play tonight.
Perfect.
Play tonight.
Thank you again, Chris. That
thank
was
you.
fun, man. It's always good to see you.
Likewise.
Okay, sweet.
All right, I got. I could do that during lunch. Perfect. Oh, there's a puppy. I didn't even see the puppy.
A little poopy. Oh.
Thanks again, brother. I'll be probably stuck in my little cave here for a minute, so I want to give a proper goodbye.
And let me know if there's one of the shows that you want to come out to.
Oh, yeah, thank you, man. I appreciate that.
Get you some comps emailed over.
Oh, thank you so much. We've been trying to make it, but our schedule this week has been a little worse than normal. I don't think we're going to be able to make any shows, which sucks, but it happens. Yeah, guys, I'll put on the lobby camera. There's a puppy out there. You can see the puppy as Chris walks out. There's a beautiful dog sitting right there. She is. Ruxton. It's a boy. Ruxton. Yeah, we're having everybody in today, y'all.
Teddy Ruxpin. Yeah, so just no B.
Yeah, Rapsnacks are good, dude. Jay Corn, I'd love to do that, but that's not my thing. I do enjoy rapping, but I'm not like Chris. Man, he got the thing. Almost done here, saving stuff.
Oh no, yeah.
He was just a huge golden retriever. He was a PTSD dog. I was like, he's a cuddle dog. And I was like,
Oh yeah, I enjoy writing them and then putting them together in that particular way. I'm gonna go use the bathroom real quick. I'll be back, y'all. You can eavesdrop and watch everybody and see what's happening.
He's a little bit more shy, a little more attached to mom.
You're so beautiful. Thanks for coming in.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
oh, I love your. That's a great little award, $10 million downloaded shows there. So fun.
Oh yeah, it's funny if you ask like the city for proclamations, they just give these things out. Daniel's like, I asked the mayor for a proclamation. I'm like, oh, it was embarrassing. No, and then they're like, oh, granted. And then it turns out they just give them out or whatever.
Get 'em out.
Yeah. And then it makes it look fancy, but apparently they'll give them to anybody. Plus, it does help the mayor's assistant's a listener, so she's been a listener for years. So I'm sure she just pushed it through. The politicians, I'm sure you've met a lot, are weird people. Like the mayor of Orlando, he's a nice enough guy, been a mayor of Orlando for a long time, but talking to him is like talking to an alien pretending to be a human. It's bizarre. You know what I'm saying? Because he's so, like, he's just the perfect personality for a politician.
Used to being a politician,
Yeah.
not a person.
Yeah. He's just good for voters. And he has, very robotic. It's weird though, and a lot of politicians are like that because our damn system is set up for.
Believe that you're a sir?
Look my best.
Absolutely, man. Tom and I used to never carry any of that stuff, and then we go to do interviews because we're such non-professionals, and we'd be like, oh, great. We're gonna look like shit today. So.
How I feel about every day.
I still have a couple of the BDM koozies in my apartment, like in New York, so they survived various moves.
No way, dude.
Them in the door of the freezer. So
That's awesome.
I'm gonna get you a shirt.
Yeah, you should give him a new shirt, Tom. We got new stuff.
I used to dog sit in Park Slope.
Amazing, that's the place to do it.
Yeah, it was so good.
Expensive dogs, expensive.
I just
salary.
stayed there all day.
Yeah.
8 hours a day, just watch TV with the dog. Take her on a couple walks in the park there. We were right across from the park.
I mean, if it's a big medium, color on canvas, mate, that's good blanks. Let's do Excel as well.
All right. Let's see what else we got here, guys. It's a pretty damn good song, right? Rest Easy was a fun song. That was I think we have one more guest, and then we're gonna take lunch. Come on in. Put you guys same place Chris was, and those are your cans. You are such a pretty puppy. Oh my God. Looks like a beautiful wolf.
Yeah, pretty much.
You were so sweet, and so you behave so good. My God. I gotta put you on camera somehow. Let's see if I can do this. I don't think it's gonna work unless I got my other camera working, and it is not working.
Oh, no.
So let's do this. I can get rid of this guy. And then I can change your camera on the couch to be something different. Nope. 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 Yes, that's the one. Lean over here. Hey, you get your own camera. Hell yeah.
Here you go, kid.
Look at that superstar.
He
Yeah,
is.
Chris, thanks so much, dude. Anytime you're in town.
Like,
you're
how
welcome.
old
my
is-
business stick.
Who is this guy now? Who's
This
this?
is Ruxin.
Ruxin. And how old is Ruxin?
3.
I want Ruxin. I like all puppies. God, strikingly beautiful, the markings on
Yeah,
it.
he is a pretty awesome looking dog.
And what kind of dog is he?
He's a border collie Australian Shepherd mix. There's also some like McNab and cattle dog in there.
Look at that guy. That guy is awesome.
There's only one other podcast radio show that I've started doing, which is similar, which is Keith and the Girl.
Oh, they're great. I love those guys.
They met me this year for the first time.
No way.
I became at the end of the year awards. I was best guest and best sexual moment for a freestyle.
Oh, that's good. I've been following those guys since, I mean,
A long time.
since I want to say 06 or.
But the girl just left.
Oh, no.
So they asked me to rap the announcement to announce it was a big deal.
No shit.
Yeah.
Man, I haven't heard that. Those.
Like a similar
Yeah.
community, their listeners, they live stream Twitch and put out, and their listeners are again Rappin, will just come.
Yeah, and they've been doing it way longer than us.
Huh.
Wow.
It's only the second thing you guys that I found.
That's
Huh.
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's funny. We've been talking about finding other people like us out there because it's a kind of a rarity. They can have a local
Oh,
audience.
it changed. Look at that.
Found a lot of national podcasts, but we'll have to reach out because we'd like to just interview other
There
people
we
like
go.
us,
Okay,
you know?
that's working now.
Yeah, if you have their information too, send it in an email. Maybe I'll reach out to them.
Yeah, I would
Get
love
them on
to.
the show.
I'm a fan of those guys. I even listen to them. That's one of the reasons I started getting into podcasting.
Yeah, Keith's so funny, and their guests are it's they just get good stand-ups.
Yeah.
It's they really know what they're doing.
They're from New York, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's man. You got a good one then, because they're one of those shows that never really wavered. They just stayed doing what they were doing for forever. I mean, we are doing the same thing.
Yeah.
We just head down and just keep doing what you're doing, and then weather the storm of trends and everything, and just keep doing what you're doing. Yeah, that's awesome.
Well, thank you again.
Cool,
Anytime, man. Cheers. Yeah, make yourself at home. All right. You ready, buddy? I think I got that saved. I marked it for edit, so that's good. I got all my edits here, and I have every single one of them, so I think we're good. And sorry we're running a little bit behind today, but when we get cool puppies and rapping comedians. As long as you're okay, I'm loving it. All right, here we go. 3, 2.
Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan.
You still have time to get some tickets to our ACT Live 10-year anniversary show.
Yes.
At the Ritz Theater in Sanford.
Yeah, it's the if you've never seen that theater in beautiful, historic downtown Sanford, it's really, really cool. It's got like this old kind of a like marquee. It looks beautiful. Hey, our name's on the marquee now.
I saw that.
That's pretty cool, right?
Yeah. I guess we're the only show from now till then. Or
no, that's not true. I don't believe there are other shows. They just chose to put us up there.
All right.
I don't know that guy there. That like the man that runs a stage manager. He must like us or something.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Hey, I'm gonna slip him $100.
Also,
don't hold me to that. I'm not gonna give you $100.
May is the last month to book our Tom and Dan cruise. It's tomanddancruise2024.com.
Yes.
And then we set sail in September. So.
We do indeed. Now, hey, I know you know, last week you had said like, hey, man, take some pressure off yourself. You know, when we do these like, you know, Weird Job Wednesdays and whatever, you don't necessarily need to do a song. But I wanted to do a song. And then you said, well, like, hey, use the AI thing. And then you know my feelings on that. Oh. It's a novelty. I like playing with it, but I'm not obsessed with it. I don't think it's immediately going to be the future. As of right now, I would say, and I think he'll back me up, he's in the chat room, me and Jackal still have the edge. We do still have the edge. I know
it's barely there.
We still have the edge. But I will say,
you barely are holding on to it.
But I will say that incrementally, every week I use this, I notice that it does get a little bit better every single week.
Yeah.
And I wanted it to do something that I didn't think it could do today, and it actually pleasantly surprised me. I asked it for yacht rock.
Okay.
And you know I'm a big fan of it. You know, even though I need to, make a call to, Jack Bradshaw, because he's got his, Captain's Log Radio he does on the weekends and everything. I think he's been loosening the term yacht rock a little bit. It is late 70s to early 80s. That's all it is, and it will only be that.
Okay.
There's no changing that. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the first song we've ever done that is, it's very, very similar to yacht rock. Like, I swear to God, you're going to be...
It's a Weird Job.
It's a Weird Job theme song. It did it in a 70s to 80s style yacht rock. Let's see what we got. Right? Kenny Loggins-y.
All right.
Yeah,
you like
hear it? You hear it?
Well, Tom wanted to do a bit. He called it Weird Job Wednesday. Dan really liked it. Tom said, what's it? It is a job. What are you doing? What is your job? Are you neat? Are you tidy? Or are you a fat slob? Do you make lots of money? And you sit up in your tower looking down on all the people who are working by the hour. It's Weird Job Wednesday, just another Weird Job Wednesday.
Pretty damn good.
All right.
Pretty damn good.
So now you're tweaking it where you're putting in the lyrics and then they're just filling it. Okay.
Just another Weird Job Wednesday.
Well, you've lost your edge now. Right. This is the point where you've lost your edge. You realize this
I
now.
did like this part.
You
though.
understand?
Only
you and Jackal had it, and now you've lost
It's
it.
almost like AI knew you were going to say this because look what it did to you. Like it got to thank you, Tom, and this is what you got. Let's see if it plays here. Oh, come on. It's not, hold on.
Okay.
I'm doing it wrong. Here, just listen to the ending again. Listen to the ending, what it did to you.
Wednesday. It's Weird Job Wednesday.
Sounds like Kenny Loggins.
Just another Weird Job Wednesday. Thank you.
It knew you were going to say that. It knew you were going to say that. Try to take the power away from me. It was like, cut the Tom out.
Kendra's on the couch. How you doing, Kendra?
Hey, good. Thanks for having me.
Accidentally hit the button for the dog. Sorry about that.
So
thank you for being here.
There is a dog in the studio with a vest on that says, do not touch me. And the first thing I did was touch the dog. Kendra was sitting in the lobby, and then I walked straight over to the dog, saw the vest.
This is the dog. You started just messing its hair out.
And then I just started squinting its snoot. I'm like, hello, dog. And then I'm like, it says do not touch me.
Oh, wow. Okay, right.
So
the irony of you needing this dog.
So, Kendra, what is the dog's name?
So this is Ruxin.
Okay.
Roxanne.
And so, Kendra, you are a dog trainer.
Yes, I am.
Okay. And what's the name of your business?
Buena Vista Dog Training.
All right.
I need your help. I gotta. my puppy's out of control. Dansby, he's a wild man.
Yeah.
I've ruined him. I've spoiled him so much that he can't leave my side, and he barks at every human and dog.
Yeah. But he barks at specifically, you know who. And I'm like, I didn't. Who taught him that? That's the owner.
I think I think it's in dogs. I think sometimes it's just like it's
no,
in
you
there.
can't say that. So, how did you become a dog trainer?
Well, kind of, I guess, long story short, I started in hopes of becoming a marine mammal trainer. So I did a bunch of internships with exotics, worked alongside of dolphins, sea lions, seals, parrots. And then I ended up getting a part-time job as a dog trainer out in Lakeland. And it was pretty awesome, honestly. And I was able to just kind of realize that I almost preferred that over just continuing to pursue the dreams of working with the dolphins. I really liked seeing the results and how it actually changed people's relationships with not only their dogs, but with each other.
This is a good one.
It's like a marriage counselor.
I don't know if we've ever had a job where the person said, no, I was going for this, and I found this other thing because I know the pay your dues, right? You were going.
Right.
You're going.
Yeah. I imagine to become a dolphin trainer, there's probably a crazy long line of people, and then
you got to get through all the idiots that say I'm going to be a dolphin trainer because everybody's going to say it, right?
Yeah.
And then once you get your foot in the door and you become the dolphin trainer at SeaWorld, you're staying there. You're never leaving.
No,
you know,
never.
like
It's like
Pretty
Supreme
much.
Court justice.
yeah.
Yeah.
So is that what happens? Basically, it's hard to find any work as a dolphin trainer.
Yes and no. So, I mean, it's incredibly competitive, but not only is it super competitive, they do require that you have some kind of educational background, and then they want you to have all these internships. So that's kind of where I was going with that. And then even on top of that, most places are swim testing you. So it's not only mental, it's physical, it's educational.
You couldn't do it.
And then
You just go hold on to their fins and they drag you. I see it.
I kind of do agree with him. He's doing more swimming for this stupid triathlon than any of those stupid dolphin trainers do. Those guys, all they do is stand on the. I saw you, fat ass. You stood on the snoot and it pushed you through the air and you went flying. You weren't even swimming. You were standing on its snoot.
So, what was your first introduction into even training dogs? Like, did the animal training translate?
This is the best behaved dog that's ever been in our studio. I'll tell you that.
Did you go to any school to learn? How did that work?
Kinda. So I actually have a degree in marine biology and animal behavior, and that's through the University of New England. So I do have my bachelor's degree in the psychology as well as the biology of it. So I take huge pride in that. There aren't a lot of dog trainers that have that kind of educational background simply because it's not required. So that's kind of like my big selling point. Like, I worked with that. I learned training techniques and different reinforcement schedules
in
through
Florida,
college.
I bet you get all that. I've been training dogs since before you was even born.
Oh, yeah.
All those guys.
And they're like, well, what's your background? I was like, I just been doing it for a
while.
while.
I just know.
My dad taught me.
I just know dogs.
It's like personal trainers. Like, I just am working out for a while. I'm just telling you kind of what I do. And I look on YouTube.
There are still people that matters to. So, yes, you should be very proud of that because it's very what you did was very difficult.
And dolphins are kind of like dogs, right? They're about the same.
Yeah, I mean, learning-wise, conceptually, it's all the same.
Dolphins are hornier, I know that. I know the one thing my dog won't do is hump his chew toys. But dolphins, when we went to took a tour of the Epcot Living Seas. There was a dolphin in there getting it on with his ball.
Yeah. They love that.
Yeah, it was
enrichment.
it was like it looked like a giant wiffle ball, and they're like, push him through, because it's Disney. They're like, get the hell out of here because he's humping it.
I think you got to neuter that out of them, right? That's why the dogs are better behaved. They're like, you got to get the neuter.
But there's a point when you're supposed to do it, right? Like, you're supposed to let them fully mature before maybe you do it, or maybe right before you do it.
Yeah, so that's kind of the new, I wouldn't say controversial, but that's kind of the new standpoint is, do you let your dog fully mature? So, like, my personal preference, Ruxin here is not altered. And that's a personal preference.
That means he's uncircumcised, huh?
Oh,
yeah,
just like me. I'm uncircumcised. So me and Ruxin are going to show you what it looks like here.
There are people that will neuter right at 6 months old before the testosterone even starts to kick in. But then you have other people that are waiting until the growth plates are full because growth hormones are linked to sex hormones. So It's kind of like if you were to neuter a 12-year-old boy before he hits puberty. Like, he's probably not going to get that muscle mass and the body hair that you would normally get.
You get Varys from Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Just finished.
Everybody wants a
eunuch.
Varys.
A eunuch.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going as him for Halloween.
So that's kind of what happens to a lot of dogs. And since he's also my service dog and my sport dog, I wanted him to be as muscular and like well adept to
he looks like he can rip.
Oh yeah, we do frisbee, fast cat. He's been clocked at 30 miles an hour.
Hell yeah.
30 miles
This
an
guy's a
hour?
beast.
Yeah.
Can he run up a wall and grab the hanging rope? I've seen that on YouTube.
Haven't
those are the
tried.
best. Those are the best.
We
TikTok.
haven't tried, but he might. He's definitely been suspended in a harness, though, like those military dogs where they pull him up in a tree and just kind of swing him. He loves
thank you for
that.
your service,
He
Rex.
likes
Loved
it.
that,
He
yeah.
wasn't terrified.
This is the kind of dog you need. You need a badass
He was just
adventure dog.
chilling.
Yeah. It's like I see the dogs that go skydiving with people.
Yeah.
They're like, he loves it. And then
He
while the dog, like,
He would
looks
so
scared out of his
do
mind.
it. He would so
Oh, really?
do it. Yeah, I don't
mean,
know, man.
Because you would think he has no idea what's happening.
No, he loves it. Look at him, dude.
Like, doesn't he think he's gonna die?
He's
He doesn't
sleeping.
have
No
any
concept of
concept
that.
of the
No
parachute.
concept.
though.
Look how tough he is.
He's just sleeping over
Yeah,
here.
look at that guy. Look how tough he is.
So how do you start in the dog training business? Is it just about networking? Like, how do you even start getting your first customers?
Yeah, so I actually just recently moved up to Claremont about a month ago. So I'm completely relaunching my business out of Davenport. So I'm trying to kind of get it a little bit more close to the upper west side Orlando, Claremont areas. And I joined a BNI group. So BNI is like Business Networking International. It's been phenomenal.
Oh, nice.
And
Write that
basically,
down.
it's a big group that you can get together.
This guy's our business guy, and we
Yeah.
don't network at all. We were like, yesterday we were here in the middle of the night, pulling our hair out.
Network. I got the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
so
had
I
an
mean-
emergency meeting last night. We're freaking out. I'm drinking
Don't
coffee.
talk about
he
it.
came here with a headband on. He's like, I'm glad you showed up. He's like, don't tell anyone we're here. He's like, turn the lights off. They can't know we're here.
We'll talk about it at the live show. I already wrote that.
I figured you would.
So yeah, I mean, the business networking thing is awesome. It's all referral based stuff. So basically you get to know the people in your group and they get to know you. You know each other's business, but you also know them personally. So you become like their number one referral. So anytime they hear somebody mention dog training, it's, I would say almost contractually, but not really. They go, oh, hey, Kendra with Buena Vista Dog Training is who we go for. And we've seen her dog. We've seen her work. You should check her out.
So
cool.
when's the best time to train a dog? Because I've had some experience with this in my life. Where
Most people believe, I think, that once your dog is like doing its thing, he's just going to do that forever. Nothing can be done,
No.
right?
Yeah.
I think most people think it's a nothing can be done
And
scenario.
I've trained a 10-year-old dog.
Whoa.
A fully put him through a whole course, 10 years old.
And it learned?
Yeah.
And then the next
Now-
day he died. It was horrible. It was a horrible story.
Now, mind you, it is a little bit more challenging because they're kind of stuck in their ways. They've been doing the same thing
Oh my God!
typically
Can you
for
train
10 years.
Can you train Tom?
It's impossible.
It's a lot harder. I get asked to train people's kids
Yeah,
a
yeah.
lot, and I said
Oh,
that's
no.
going to cost you more than you have.
I'm stuck in my ways and how I think about people, which is worse.
And I'm not willing to grow.
I hate
Yeah.
grow.
But I mean,
I
dogs
hate
do
grow.
fantastic with structure. So really, even if it's at 10 years old, it maybe is a little bit more challenging to get them to be a little bit more structured, but it's not impossible.
So Wrexham here is, did I say his name right?
Ruxin.
Ruxin. I'm saying Wrexham. I'm thinking about
oh,
the
yeah,
show.
There he is.
They-
Hi.
Oh, sorry.
So
you heard mommy say your name. And
so-
then,
Wait, Rux.
Kendra, what is your standard client? I imagine they just got a puppy. It's like eating things in the house. They don't, it's misbehaving. They,
pooping and peeing everywhere.
It's jumping on people or whatever when anybody comes to their house. Similar to my mom's dog. No, it's my mom's birthday
Man.
next week, so I don't want to.
Why would you put your
and she
mom on
lives-
blast like that? Why don't you get her
Wow.
training for her birthday?
Wow.
Every single one of my mom's dogs.
Get you a gift card.
When they've all been named like Bitey, and then there was Jumpy. There was Jumpy and Bitey.
And they all.
Then there was Crazy.
They're
They're all named like Bone Thugs
Oh,
characters.
I always get Princess and Precious and
Yeah.
Buttercup, and I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
yeah, you set them up, Diva,
Yeah.
They're all-
Majestic,
Yeah.
they seem to be defending my mom for no reason, biting at me crazy, and And then I'm usually as a kid I'm running for and then she rewards the dog. She's like, don't bite my son, and then she's giving it treats, and I'm like, I think you're just teaching it to bite.
Well, my mom got
hugging
to a point.
it.
My mom got to a point with her dog, which is now my dog, who's 18. It's Maggie. It's the only thing I have left. It was my dad's dog. It's the only thing I have left from my dad. My dead parents dead as hell. They've been dead for ages. And then I got my mom's dog, Maggie, 18.
Wow.
Tongue will not go in its mouth.
No. At 18, I wouldn't want to do that
covered
either.
in warts. Just drags its back legs everywhere. Poops and pees where it wants to.
Yeah. And still
going
strong.
Still going strong.
And every time I see it, I'm like, keep going, buddy.
Yeah.
You're torturing Daniel.
I will say there's some benefits to having this dog. It is made, and I was saving this, but we'll burn it now because you're here. It has made my daughter a tougher woman because my daughter has been bit by Maggie hundreds of times. Dude, her toes are like she has bloody toes from this dog. This dog will just bite her. Anytime you move around the dog, it'll bite whatever moves.
It's like a shark.
It sees shadows.
Yeah.
Is she blind?
It's exactly like what would happen to me. Like if you'd incapacitated me enough in this room to like where I couldn't see, but I was able to grab a pencil. If I can find you, I'm stabbing you.
Oh,
But it's
for
just
sure.
like I'm gonna save my life. And that's where Maggie is now. Everything is a fight for life. Everything is a bite.
Yeah, it's like a reef shark. If you just wiggle your hand, you're
so
marine biologist.
Every night that when Maisie comes in to tell me goodnight, she gets bit 3 times to kiss her dad goodnight.
Yeah. Because she's moving. It's like
It's making her tougher.
So I forgot the question.
Sorry.
What does your normal client look like, and what services do they want from
right?
you?
No.
No. I mean, typically, looking at the middle-aged clients, homeowners usually that are a little more stable and such, but I've also had some phenomenal clients that are in their 20s and they're just so excited to train their baby, basically.
Right. Responsible pet owners that
for
wanna
sure.
get a leg up on it.
The hardest part is finding people that are truly dedicated to putting the training in. They want to do the cheaper option of lesson programs, but they don't want to put in the work, and then they're like, why is it not working? Well, you got to put in the work. You got to do the homework. Otherwise, you could pay me to do the board and train, and I'll just do all the hard work for you.
Wait, you can just drop it off and then come and pick up a different dog.
Pretty much.
That's dope. That's the way to do it.
Has there have you ever seen a dog that's been impossible to train? Like it is so bad, because I'll explain. We had a dog when we were growing up named Bear, and it was a Rottweiler.
I had a bear.
And every Florida
person had a bear.
I was in Pennsylvania.
Close enough. Still rednecks up there
North
too.
Florida.
Oh yeah.
But
Pennsylvania, upstate New York,
Pennsylvania.
Anyway, so my dad used to just get drunk and fight with Bear all the time and bite his hands and stuff. Like it became mean, like a junkyard dog. And then after my dad died, we'd have to throw hot dogs out the screen door to like lure it away from the door so we can go to school every morning or leave. It would hang out in the garage and just be like, anytime you walked in there, it'd be in the dark corner, like growling at
Waiting
you, like
for
the
you.
dog
Like
from
Maggie.
Never-Ending Story.
Yeah, like Maggie looking for Maisie's feet.
That's ridiculous.
And then, when it eventually died, we were all relieved.
But you
as a
weren't
family.
sure it was really dead. You had to hit it in the head a couple times to make sure it was really
And
dead.
I'm virtually certain there was no training this dog anymore, that it had grown to a point where it had become so bad
it's one
and
with
evil
the wild.
that it was a wild animal.
Yeah, it became the Hound from Game of Thrones.
And you could not train it. So you ever run across a dog like that?
I mean, I've only seen very few cases where that conversation has even come up, where you're like, I don't know that this is something that you can fix. Now, I do tell people that we can get to a point where there's maintenance. So we can go through the training program. We can teach you guys how to properly work the dog, and the dog should work fine. But it's not like they're going to be able to be let free, run around, play with all the kids and play with all the other dogs kind of thing. I have seen one behavioral euthanasia before. Do I think it was necessary? I'm not 100% sure. And that wasn't my call. That was from a different facility I worked at.
Sure.
Well, that's extreme.
This dog was extreme, and we didn't
Can
find
they get
out
mental illness or
Yes.
something? Yeah, okay.
Oh, for sure. This dog had major PTSD and would lash out and like wanted to like kill, basically.
And it had fought for our country.
Yeah, basically.
That's the saddest part.
But it was kind of referring back to it was fighting for its life every single time it encountered somebody. And we didn't find out why.
And we turned our back on it just like all the other veterans.
That we found out that the owner was totally physically abusing this dog.
Oh, God.
And the dog was literally fighting for its life on a daily basis.
What a POS.
Oh,
My
God. Horrible. And of course, they don't tell you that up front. So you're like, why is this dog such an asshole?
Yeah, yeah.
And then
it's
we
like when
found
Tom
out,
goes
like,
to the doctor and says he doesn't drink.
So it's rare that dogs are born this way. They're created.
Yes and no. Genetics do play a big factor.
Make her hang her business on this definitive answer, Tom.
The pit bulls, right?
No, actually, I love the pitties. The running joke for me is actually Rotties.
Oh, really?
Rotties are always willing to put up a fight. So if you're working with them and you basically tell them no and you try to redirect them into something or correct them for doing something they're not supposed to, they're willing to like put their dukes up. They're like, yeah, let's go. And when you got like a 120-pound Rottweiler on your back, it's not a super fun place to be.
Sure.
So have I seen it way different? Yeah, absolutely. I had a 9-week-old Rottweiler puppy that I was working with since he was a baby, and it was intentional aggression at 9 weeks old. And like he was biting to hurt, not biting because it was cutesy and playful. It was biting to hurt. And I said, ooh, we need to do a lot of work. Otherwise, you're stuck here with a problem. And the mom recognized and said, yeah, let's get to work. So we did weekly training sessions. And then she was a snowbird. So they went back up to Chicago and she did like the full training up there. And now comes back. I went and I saw him again for the first time in about a month ago. Biggest baby. I just ran up to him. Big baby. He was so happy to see me. So
it works.
It does. A lot of it is structure. And because dogs don't know what to do with themselves half the time, and they want to interact with us like they interact with other dogs because they just don't know the difference.
That's what it feels like Dansby, my West Highland Terrier, is having right now. It feels like, because he's the sweetest dog I've had, and he's super affectionate and kind, but his communication is like all off.
Yeah.
Like, when he barks at things, it sounds super aggressive.
Right.
But then when he goes up to the dog,
he's friendly.
Or any of his body language is friendly, but his bark is way off.
Yep.
Like I'm like, dude, your bark's all messed up. Like it's like you're like, and it's like, and if
You
you
can
go
be
to pick him
messed
up,
up?
he does that little dog thing where he goes like, like where he's real mad at me, but he's not really
Ruxin
mad.
thought that was funny.
Yeah, sorry, buddy. He's not really mad. He's not, but he's just he's.
Well,
like,
how do you know?
because he's not biting me. There's like literally, he's just limp. And he's just calm, but he's just.
Well, he's disgusting. You can't fix that. That's what I mean, what would you even suggest with something like that? He's making some weird noise, some disgusting noise.
Yeah.
What is that?
Usually I just say, like, put him down.
I
knew that.
Yeah, right, crazy. No, it's situational. So it depends. Like, if he is growling to like warn you, then maybe put him
down. He seems
down.
possessive of the family, and then he feels like it's not an aggressive thing. It's more like his body language and everything's cool, but it's just like, I'm like, shut up, man. What are you doing? Because the other dogs like kind of look at him like, what are you doing?
Right. The other option is if you're 100% sure that he's not going to bite, I would just hold him there until he stops that growly thing.
Yeah.
And the moment he's quiet, you just put him down. And then he's like, oh, okay, I get put down when I stop acting like this.
Kendra.
Okay, I got what you're saying.
I'm curious too
I got work to do.
How ingrained the training is for how long? 'Cause I see these videos on TikTok of like military, like German shepherds and stuff.
Yeah, I know what your algorithm is.
And the Malinois and
I know what this guy's doing. He's like, stop the steal.
It's out there.
We gotta take this country back.
And then
we need our dogs are liberty.
they're walking with their ARs, and their dog is underneath their legs, like walking with them, so trained. And then there's yells something in German. It's like, what?
Los it.
And then it'll go over and sit, and no matter there's gunfire going off, this dog will. I mean, it's the most trained animal I've ever seen.
Yeah.
So
and
then
that
I'm like,
impresses you, and you're like, this is what me and the boys are doing.
I actually plan to get him gun descents so I can take him out to an open field range and do that
oh,
for him.
okay, so you know who's
Yeah,
on your
I
algorithm.
sure do.
No, but
So this guy's a real American down here. He's a true blood patriot.
True patriot.
So
I love it.
my question is, like, how long will that dog know those commands? So, like, let's say that dog goes to my mom.
For life. For life.
Well, really,
For
it'll
life.
never just eventually get fat and just start biting my ankles.
I
and
mean,
my
they
mom's
could.
dog.
They could, but they're never going to forget. So that's the biggest reason I offer a lifetime guarantee with my training, because your dog will not forget. It's just us that gets lazy.
If your dog forgets about America, I come back and I
your dog
remind
is
your dog where we
un-American.
live, goddammit.
Never forget.
I'm sorry, we're
So-
stupid.
So it'll remember those
Yeah.
training.
Hey, I mean, remember Isley?
Yeah.
I had a Dalmatian. I used to rescue Dalmatians.
Awesome.
He's the only dog I've ever had professionally trained.
Okay.
And I would love to do it again with Dansby, because Dansby does need it. He's got a communication problem. He's a lovely dog. He doesn't bite, but he does make weird noises. But Isley knew his training. Like, he would do it for Andrea. He was one of those dogs that I would have the lead in my right hand. It would go all the way over. And if I would take a step with my left foot starting.
Yep.
And then he would start with me with his left foot. And then when I put my right foot in, he'd put his right foot in and he'd sit down. And he knew it forever. He never forgot it.
Yeah.
He would do it behind Andrea. Like, when Andrea would do laundry, he would be behind her and he would just walk behind her. And when she stopped, he would stop, sit down, and his nose would go like right into her butt. And she'd be like, what the heck? Like, he was trained to just walk right behind her and would never leave her.
So is that like what? Let's say I hire you to train my dog. What am I gonna get at the end? Like, there's like,
Well, what are you
gonna
putting
get this?
in? Are you like you're
Is
not
there
gonna,
the
you're
standard?
not going to do it every day, are you? Are you going to put the time in like you're doing for your triathlon, where you take your dog out and run the commands?
Well, that's what I'm paying Kendra to do.
All right, so board and train then, yeah.
I give you the dog, you give it back to me,
Perfect.
and it says, it does everything I say. It sits,
Yep.
it stays with me. Like, what else will it do?
Yeah, so I guarantee a couple commands, and that's going to be heel, so the nice walk on your left-hand side. When you come to a stop, it stops and prompts an automatic sit. You'll also do stay, so sit, stay, and down, stay. Come, place, and down, as in like lie down. Place is really awesome because like go to your place. It's an elevated bed, elevated surface, whatever it might be, but it's different than a stay because they can hang out, roll around, fall asleep.
Place is good. I like
It's
that.
so, oh my gosh, it's so great for like cooking.
Yeah,
if you're
go
in the
to your
kitchen.
corner.
Yeah, pretty much. Put your kid in the corner.
Yeah.
But you can use it as that too, kind of like a timeout. But it's also really positive. I use it for the front door a ton because if my dog's sitting on their cot, they're not running out the front door. They're not jumping on the guests because they're sitting on their cot.
Yeah, go to your spot and chill out while I handle a little something.
And then when you're calm, you can be released.
Man, I love this.
Yeah.
I like your job a lot.
So, Kendra, do you think the apprehension with most people training their animals is the fact that they perceive it to be mean in some way? Because I feel like they're like my mom.
Are you talking about someone you know?
Not to pick up my mom. It's her birthday next week. Happy birthday, Mom.
You've lit her up twice. You talked about
You
biting
like-
and jumping.
It all comes from
fair.
love, and that's the
Poor
thing.
mom.
Here's the thing.
Wait a minute. You never loved nothing.
No, for her, not me. I don't want a stinky dog. They're disgusting. But she loves her animals so much that she's almost. I feel like she's.
I'm like that.
Yeah.
Like she wants to give the
Yes.
animal whatever it wants.
Yes.
Wants to make it
Yep.
happy.
I wanted to give Dansby Velveeta last night.
Yeah,
because
like-
he wanted it.
and doesn't want to be mean to it or be stern,
Uh-huh.
but that creates like these dogs want to be told what to do, right?
Well, pretty much. I mean, in a sense, like I said, they really enjoy structure, and you have to. Not that dogs are still technically pack animals nowadays, and that their genetics have kind of been flooded with a lot of domestication, but background-wise, they all work together. There's not typically just one doing everything, and then the others are just kind of blindly following. Everybody plays their role. Everybody plays their part. So with dogs and them being in your family, they need to play a part too. And if we're not teaching them how to play that part in our lives, they're going to start making stuff up. And then we're typically not going to like it because it's weird dog stuff. Chewing on things, barking at everybody, making them run away. Like, oh, hey, I scared that squirrel off for you.
Yeah,
Like,
oh, yeah.
no, I didn't need that.
I
but
think that's
thanks,
what I
dude.
got. I think I got a little bit of that.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, the bear, the Rottweiler, used to stand over me.
Oh, yeah.
And then if I moved, it'd be growl.
Oh,
And then
cool.
my mom would be
Yeah.
like, just pretend to be asleep. And then I'd have to. And
For
so
hours. He wouldn't even do his homework.
And
He
No
had to
wonder he doesn't want dogs.
And
That's
then
terrifying.
my mom would be throwing hot dogs across the yard.
The hot dogs aren't working. Try sausages.
Yeah. And I just have to sit there. And the dog would be like,
what's
and then because they would be controlling
He'll get
me.
tired and pass out.
Yeah.
It's like,
And
no, you sleep.
so it'll
Like,
do
"That's
things.
me."
The dog will then just take roles like I'm the master now.
I'm
right?
the captain. Yeah, you were gonna say that.
Oh.
Let's talk about some of the things that people don't know, but I know they're thinking about it right now. When we see a service animal out and walking around places and we're like, well, I can't bring my animal here, and then we're mad about
Right.
it, and then we see the sign that says "Do not touch." What is that?
Right. So.
Oh, they bought that on the internet.
Okay,
I do.
so.
I have the one you buy on the internet.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
is the real one. That does not look anything like mine. That looks like legit.
All right, you
So-
can get anything on the internet.
Yeah.
I can get that tomorrow.
But yeah, so I mean, definitely service dog wise, the biggest reason why they're out is because they're necessary. They're medically required for us. It's not that I enjoy having my dog out with me everywhere all the time. Do I? Yeah, I love it. I love my guy. But also without him, there's certain risks that I'm taking, especially being by myself out and about in public, that I could miss certain things, or if I like say pass out or something, he's right there with me. If so, a lot of times the do not pet though is because it's distracting. So there are a lot of people that have
Because he's on the job.
yeah, there's a
all
lot of
right.
people that have like life-altering medical issues, and
That
if the
makes sense.
dog is being distracted by either A, your untrained service dog, or B, somebody running up and going, "Oh my gosh, what a sweet baby! Look at his shoes." That's a big one, the shoes. Then he could miss that alert because he's being distracted, and it could end up inevitably hurting somebody.
That
or
makes sense. Yeah.
Well, here's
Yeah.
my rant about service animals, because if your dog is trained like Kendra's dog,
This dog.
and-
This is the best dog I've ever seen.
Yeah.
This,
And
dog,
just-
this guy. This is like a human.
and just comes in and lays down and doesn't make a peep and sits by your legs
He
and
hasn't
doesn't
made
do
a peep
anything,
since he got here. He's
Yeah.
more polite than most of our guests.
then I don't care if it's a certain
No.
it's your own dog, whatever. And I don't think anybody cares. Society doesn't care.
Right.
The problem
Yeah,
is
people
when-
take advantage of with bad dogs.
Or just you're some rich lady that buys a service
Yeah.
vest on the internet and is peeping everywhere. It's biting people.
Right.
It's like some tiny Bichon Frise that just
Oh.
bite crazy, and it's like it's old.
It does
it's
always
senile.
make me laugh, though. And
Yeah.
I
It's
should.
pee-pee, and then you're like, come on, lady, at least train it. If
Yeah.
you want your dog with you,
Right.
you have to
Well,
train
that's
it.
kind of been
Like,
the
you can't
number
do
one
this.
thing. I think you've said that the most since you've been here is that like you probably do. You have to nail that through people's human skulls.
Oh,
like
'cause you
guys,
see the
God.
you're
pee-pee
gonna have to
dog.
do the work. You're gonna have to.
Yeah, and even
Unless
with the
they're
board
gonna
and
let
train,
you do it and throw money at
Well,
it.
yeah,
Right.
but even with the board and train, though, they still have to upkeep it.
Sure.
They can't just magic button. My dog's 100% trained and should do everything without any kind of tools or any
This
kind of
was ye-
instructions.
This
so,
is years ago when I did mine, but they would send me videos of Isley when he
Yeah.
was training. Is
Uh-huh.
that kind of? Is that
oh
like-
yeah, absolutely.
so
I
like-
do daily updates.
Yeah, so you'd get like a video in the morning. Well, back in the day, they couldn't send videos, so I would get like a VCR tape at the end of the week
Oh
that
my
I'd
gosh,
put
that's
in
hilarious.
and watch like what he did. And they'd show
Okay.
me, here's the command, here's what we did, here are 2 versions he did great,
Yeah.
here's 1 version he did bad. This will be something you'll watch out for.
Oh yeah, I like that. Yeah,
Yeah, it's kinda
okay.
cool.
But yeah, I send that out as well. But yeah, I mean the service dog thing that's going on right now is insane. Him and I out and about have almost been attacked 3 times.
Attack for what?
Other dogs.
Yeah, non-service
in there,
dogs that
non-service
look like
dogs that are
service
in
dogs.
service dog
Oh,
vests.
yeah.
So there was a time, yeah, there was a time at
And-
Disney Springs that was horrible.
And then the
dog
o-
on a flexi leash.
Your service dog
Coming
is
around
attacking my flexi
screaming.
leash. Flexi leash is the number one thing. If you see
You
a
know.
service
Yeah.
dog and the person has a retractable leash,
Wrong.
Yeah.
automatically you know that it's
Wrong.
100% not a service
Unless
dog.
it is for some
Aren't they
reason
embarrassed?
medically necessary to perform their task.
I've never seen a service dog in a real flexi, like a
Yeah.
real like that guy.
Yeah. Aren't they embarrassed knowing
No.
that? Like,
No.
you know your dog's
No.
going to
No,
bite
they're
other
not.
dogs.
I'm so sorry. So sorry.
No, they
No, they don't care.
They don't care at all. Yeah, and I bet like again, I hate to say it, but it's one of the reasons why a lot of bars that would have had a guy like this go and you'd never know this dog was there. I used to take Caesar when Caddyshanks was here, I'd take him inside the bar and
I
put
take
him
him-
on a stool
I take him in the bar all the time.
because he didn't say anything and nobody cared, right? But then people
Yeah.
take their dogs everywhere. Then their dogs are biting people, spilling drinks,
Right.
peeing and
Well,
pooping
then they
everywhere.
get sued.
Yeah, and then they get
Right,
sued. So
it's a
then
liability.
So you see bars like Johnny's. You see bars
Yeah.
like our friends of ours that have had to say, guys, we can't do it anymore because we can't control
Some
it.
kid
Yeah.
trips over some dog that is not a service dog but has the vest, and that dog turns around and bites the kid.
yeah.
Right.
And then those parents sue the bar.
Right.
And it's not even because they want to. It's just because their lawyers like you have to sue their
You gotta do something.
insurance
Yeah.
because your kid needs plastic surgery.
Right.
How
And
about
it's-
how about some easy tips for everyone right now? Like,
The easiest
what are
tip
the
I can
biggest
say
mistakes
is
you see people make?
take your time. Dogs bark, not people. So don't bark commands at your dog. Don't sit, 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 sit. Come here, come here, come here, come here. Stay, 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 stay. Because the more you're constantly doing it, you're teaching your dog to do that behavior on like the 5th or 6th time you've asked rather than the first. So ask the first time, slow it down, give them at least 2 seconds to kind of process and comprehend. And if they don't do it then, help guide them into the behavior and then reward them for it.
Oh, I know a mistake. Rubbing your dog's face in its own feces.
Oh, yeah. No.
Hours later after
Yeah,
because
no.
it does not understand why you're doing this.
Yeah.
It thinks you're a crazy
Yeah.
torture
It
demon.
thinks that's your poop.
Yeah, big one. Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Oh.
definitely it has to be immediate. If you were going to do that, I don't really suggest doing that anymore. But let's say you have to catch them in the act and you have to correct it right away. Because, yeah, if they pee in the house and then you come home from work, you have no idea when it was. They're excited to see you, and now you're just rubbing your dog's nose and pee for saying hi to you.
What I have
So,
done is
yeah.
I'll let my dog pee, and they're like, oh, I didn't catch that one. They'll let him pee again, and I'll go, no, and this one too. and I go, like that one. It looks just like it.
Also, I mean, I'm sure you run into this all the time where people put their own emotion into their dog. And,
Oh, yeah, I do that
and
every
so-
time.
Anthropomorphizing.
Yeah, like last night, me and Maisie, I was like, oh my God, he has a tummy ache. I was like, look at his little
Yeah.
tummy. Oh, he's so sick. He got a tummy ache, and I was smooching his little
And
pink
listen,
belly.
I'm no professional, but my wife used to do this with our dog that has passed, Lena,
Yeah.
where she would be like, oh,
She's got anxiety.
be like, Lena knows that
You've cheated on me. She can smell it. You can smell that other woman on your penis.
Lena is sad today because of
I do
whatever.
this, yeah.
And then I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah.
no, it's an animal. Like, it only
Yeah,
knows.
but you just shut up and let us have fun with our animals, man.
Yeah, but what are you saying then? You're saying nonsense. It's like,
Yeah.
that's not how the animal's brain works.
Well, some of us
I don't know,
like
but-
to sit quiet and wait to die. Like some of us need fun things to do.
So, like, understanding how the animal's brain works and how a dog's brain works is essential to probably training it or understanding your
Yeah.
dog. Is like it doesn't always think the way you think it does.
From research and working with dogs for a while as well as talking to other people about it, you'll notice like it doesn't seem that they think as in depth as us. They're not as complex. We put a lot of emotion and a lot of sayings into things, and we have a lot of maybe sort of kindas. Dogs don't really have maybe sort of kindas. It's either yes or no.
God, this sounds like you
So
and
it's like
me. I
black
think
and
I'm
white.
the human and you're the dog.
So it's like, hey, do you like this? Yes or no. They don't go, maybe.
Yeah,
They're
they're
like,
not
do you like
indifferent.
this? No. Do you want this? Yes. So it's just really thinking like how to communicate with your dog black and white. Most people talk too much as well. We're like, can you sit? Can you down? Come over here and walk nicely with mommy instead of being just like heel.
Oh, God, it's
Sit.
almost like you're listening to me talk
Down.
to my dog.
Now, I'm not saying don't do it, but like if you're actually asking for a behavior, then you're probably not going to get a really similar result because the consistency of even the verbiage isn't there.
Sure.
But
Simple, patient.
yeah, and I talk to him like a baby all the time, but if I ask him for a sit and he lies down, I'm like, no, that's not a sit. And I get him into a sit, and then I praise him and baby talk him. I'm like, how's it going to sit? There you go, buddy.
It's a beautiful dog.
Does it like the baby talk?
He does. He loves it.
Does he? I think
loves
you
it.
think he
I-
does.
I mean, hey,
My-
the tail wag,
Yeah.
the eyes getting
Like
bigger,
Dansby
like
will
he's
put
showing.
his ears back, and then he gets like this look, and then his tail starts
like
going
the
fast,
nubbin.
and then he goes faster, 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 and then we're like, I'm smooching his boobs, I'm smooching his belly.
So let's talk about the average cost of a dog trainer. So is it different all across board, or what? Is it different for every client, or is there a standard?
That's a great question.
Yeah, there's typically a standard, and I would say my prices are even kind of comparative to other places around here too, and yet I'm still offering that educational and experience background. But it is an investment. I never lie to anybody about that. It's not going to be the cheapest thing out there. And you can go to PetSmart and get way cheaper, but you're not going to get anywhere close to what you're going to get with a professional dog trainer private lesson. Oh yeah,
I can vouch for this 100%.
Don't know.
Yeah. The manager of the PetSmart is 19 years old. I mean, come on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to be mean.
Now, I mean, they are technically, I think there are some that are certified dog trainers, so they do have to go through courses and stuff, but
it's an online.
It's like Ross. It's like Ross. He's a personal trainer now.
Yeah. You took some quiz on Facebook, and you're like, I'm a dog trainer now.
Yeah. Okay, private lesson course. It's an 8-week course that includes all your training equipment. I do use balance training, so that's kind of where that like quote unquote scary part comes into play. It really depends on who uses those tools, because I've seen people use them so wrong that I'm like, absolutely not. Your dog will never look like that. But all equipment's included. The lifetime guarantee is included, which is follow-ups for life. So 8 lessons is $1,600.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do offer payment plans as well as financing for that.
Awesome.
And then the board and train. So they're staying with me. They are boarding with me for 3 weeks. And I do it all for you, including all of the field trips, the distraction work, the public work, everything.
I can't go without my dog for 3 weeks. I'm
So
crying like a baby.
I'm trying to be a lot better about, talking to people about doing like visitation stuff on days that it wouldn't be disruptive to the training. And the biggest reason why we don't do that is because it can be, if mom and dad show up, they get super duper excited, and then mom and dad leave again, then you might have a dog that's a little upset for a little bit. So we try to.
Yeah, Dansby's just going to have to stay unruly. I can't part with him for that long.
Yeah, it's hard.
I can't do it. I cry every night.
It is also funny, though, that I'm sure you've like $1,600. That's way too much. I'm just going to spend the next 13 years of my life miserable.
Right.
13 years.
It's a one-time
every
investment.
day.
Well, you got to add up all the behavioral problems and the couch cushions and the carpet.
Right.
Yeah.
Just yelling over and over
Cheaper
for
than a new
13
couch.
years of your life, because you're going to spend every day of your life with this animal.
You're going to spend that on anxiety medication.
Yeah, 100%. Already have.
And Kendra, thanks so much for again. Plug your business.
Buena Vista Dog Training.
Okay.
There you go. Buena Vista. That's hard for me to say.
What's the website?
It is in progress right now, but it's going to be buenavistadogtraining.com.
Okay.
You can find me a lot more active on Instagram and Facebook right now.
Perfect.
That's where everybody does.
Yeah,
It's
anyway.
way easier.
Yeah, find her on the gram.
I don't even know if you need a website anymore.
I was gonna say
I
like,
didn't have one for a while.
We asked that, and we have one, but like all it does is something for people to complain about.
Well, we
Yeah.
built ours 16 years ago, but I'm saying like current day 2024, you
I don't
can
know if
have
you
you can have a business with no website, no
Right.
problem. You have
Yep.
Facebook page, social media, no problem.
Yeah, I pretty much went all last year without a website just because everybody goes through Instagram and Facebook for the most part.
Yeah.
I'm doing it right now.
Yep.
All right.
Hey, thanks so much for your time. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for having
And
me.
thanks to Ruxin
Oh,
for
there
his.
he is.
Oh, he's gonna make
He's
it.
gonna-
There
No,
he
he's
is.
gonna-
Oh, he woke up.
Oh.
What do we do? Can I yell a
Shake.
command at him? What do we do?
Yeah.
You
Can I
can
tell-
yell whatever you want at him. He's going to be like, nah.
Oh no! I thought this is your master trained dog.
He's like, hi, mama.
Oh, look at him.
Pretty good. Can you wave?
Oh, he's doing.
Yeah.
Oh, he's
wow.
doing like a movie
God.
dog.
Oh my God, he pulled a gun. He pulled a gun.
So he's actually been paid for commercials and pharmaceutical testimonials. So we do production stuff with him too.
That's
Oh,
awesome.
He'll bark that he likes Oxycontin.
I mean, he could, yeah.
Yeah.
He
Yeah,
does
what do
have
you
a
think of
bark
Oxycontin?
command. No pain.
Our old dog Lena was addicted to pain medication.
Oh, no.
Yeah, she had the fly snappers disease, which I've
yeah.
seen some homeless men with fly snappers.
Yeah. That dog would do anything for the pain pills in the morning. Like,
Yeah. You told me some of the things she did for the pain pills. It was horrible.
Steal my car radio. All right. Stay tuned for Good Sauce with Ross.
Alrighty. Thank you very much.
Well, I didn't expect to go that long, but
It's all right, buddy. We did it. We did it. Let me see
did it.
that guy.
If you want to do some, I'll see if he will. But if you just start barking commands at him, he's just gonna ignore you.
He's gonna be like, because he's kind of trained to tune everybody out, but you, right?
I'll film some and send it to.
He's awesome.
Sit. There you go.
All right.
All right, guys. We're gonna go to lunch. So.